What camera's that?
I will. Hello, I'm the Commie.
And I am the liberal.
And I'm the good father.
I'm kidding.
One
He's
is
quintessential.
Yes, that's what I would say, because there are some people, I have to admit, all questions.
Nobody watches.
Okay, of course nobody watches.
So hey, what's the big news you were
just got one view so far?
Oh well, we do have some breaking news. It's not exactly breaking news, but we do have news. First off, California is to mandate vaccines or testing for teachers, reports say. Biden urges investigation into illegal activity, unquote, that may be causing spiking gas prices. Biden faces an uncomfortable future after the latest revelations about Trump. New evidence detailing how former President Donald Trump and the top all complete the rest. Here's what I see. There is some good news. The Senate passed the budget. That means Joe Manchin voted for the budget, which is 3.3 trillion, 3.5 trillion. And not only that, but the bipartisan infrastructure bill that is $1 trillion that was voted for by the Senate. So I'll give my opinion first on the budget bill. This is a good win for communists in this country. And here's how it was. The bill would give the money to boost public schools, and would also give money to support the Amtrak, money to fight climate change, and would also give a package of $1,000 a month to everyday people in this country.
So to let you know, Trevor, it's actually $1,200 a month, not $1,000 a month, but you're close enough. Yeah, everybody's going to be getting $1,000 as soon as after the bill gets passed, and that's what's going to end up happening. I forgot which name was going to sign the bill.
Well, that would be Biden.
Okay.
He would have to sign because he's the president.
Yeah, it would be Biden for sure. Okay, moving on to the vaccination rate up there. Right now, we have 50.3% of the population fully vaccinated. 58.9% of the population received at least one dose of the vaccine. This is just the country in general right now. So by the time the following week gets here, we should be up to 60% of the population receiving at least one dose. Another thing I want to tell you is Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham finally urging people to get the vaccine. But I tell you,
unlike that moron DeSantis.
Yeah, that's for sure, Trevor. I know moron DeSantis refused to issue them a mandate from the start. And by the way, that's his real name, moron DeSantis.
Yeah, it should.
But so to let you know, Lindsey Graham is finally urging people to get the vaccine, but Lindsey Graham sure urged people to get the vaccine months ago, not right now. He waited too long
Very much.
to urge people to get
Very
the
much.
vaccine.
I think that's what most Republicans are doing. They're trying to, and we talked about this yesterday, on trying to evade the vaccine pushes for everyone. And I think it's unfortunate that that's the case. We do have other news, and this just shows how dumb people can be. Almost a third of Republicans think Trump will be, quote unquote, reinstated as president this year. This is a real poll. They actually think this. What do you think about that?
It's total foolishness. It's been found. How many times when the election was going on did he recount, went to different places, recount, and none went in his favor like that? I think only one state was it? Or am I wrong?
No states will win in favor of Trump when it came to voter fraud. There is one state, Arizona, that still did or doing the audit. I'm not sure if they're still doing that, but it shows just the fact that the former president was, and I hesitate to even call him a president. He's trying his best to commit fraud everywhere. And lying and trying to start a coup against the incoming government administration. And it's wrong. It's not right.
I want to just tell you right now is that Donald J. Trump is always guilty of committing fraud. Because when you look at the Georgia elections, Trump was rigging the Georgia election January of this year. So that way a Republican that's with Trump wins the election in Georgia, and not a Democrat in Georgia wins the election. And as far as I'm concerned, the Democrat from Georgia won the election, not the Republican from Georgia that won the election. No state in this country has experienced voter fraud. For each person that lies about the elections,
there have only been 30 cases of voter fraud in this country, and only one was Democratic. The rest 29 were all Republican voter fraud claims. And the people who are floating this conspiracy theory about him coming back into office are Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, and his attorney Sidney Powell. And I'm wondering what goes on. I don't pretend to know what goes on inside the very weird mind of Mike Lindell and Trump and his most of the other supporters. It's weird to say the least.
All of you people right now that are watching right now, and I know I saw one view a little while ago. If you people decide to watch the show right now because it's live, because you want to see what it's like, go right ahead because we're live all the way till 7:00 tonight. I saw one viewer earlier, by the way.
Who likes Ride to Hell?
I'm sure a lot of people will like Ride the Hell video game because
that was
It was.
I know it's off topic, but but I just wanted to throw that in there.
It's a good video game. I used to play
It's not
I used to play Why the Hell all the time.
Retribution.
Retribution. And what you're doing is playing as a biker.
Yeah.
And what you're trying to do is kill as many game as possible.
Basically, what happened there was a guy. Not to talk so much about games, but there's a guy. His I think little brother, something like that, family member was killed, and basically you have to play as him and getting revenge against the rival bikers. So, and you are a biker, you play as one. Since I mentioned California, I want to talk a little about the recall. Close, but I think
Connections unavailable.
technical difficulty.
You have technical difficulties. I so sorry for the mishaps right now. Internet's messing with some strange reason. Okay, now
Okay,
we're back
we're back.
on the air.
But I want to ask you two, what do you think about the rise of Larry Elder in the California election, and will it be enough to embark on Gavin Newsom? Or is Newsom going to win? Because I personally support Newsom. He's not necessarily
Another problem with technical difficulties. Sorry again, guys. The connection's horrible right now. I don't understand why, because it's not raining outside.
Apologies for the mishap.
The continued.
If that happens again, we might have to postpone the show.
Yeah, if it happens again, we're going to have to postpone the
We are in
show.
the middle. Excuse me, guys. We are in the middle of a storm area right now, so anything's possible. You know,
Just so to let you know, people, since we're back on the air for right now,
We need more money for infrastructure.
speaking of infrastructure, we passed the infrastructure bill by the Senate yesterday, and the House passed it too. It's a $1 trillion infrastructure bill, which is good, but it should be a bit more than $1 trillion.
It should be, and that's why Democrats have another bill that is an infrastructure bill, and it's the artful infrastructure bill. And that bill is on the track to spend I believe it's $3 trillion, and I think it's a good bill. It has free community college. It has in it. It's a good idea and a great option, and I think the budget that was passed was another great option and great bill that was passed.
Excuse me here. One of the things I want to tell you before the communists finish talking, that of course, one of the things I also want to mention to you with the infrastructure bill to help build the bridges, get these homeless people off the streets, and give people the stimulus payment of $1,200 a month. And that's the difference with that. And if you have under $150,000 and you're single, you get $1,200. If you're a married couple and you have children, you get $600 each, and that's if you have under $75,000, and you're a married couple and you have children. Now, the one thing I want to get at is the housing. First of all, if I tell you, is that housing varies on how much money you will have to make in order to have housing. And of course, the housing prices, like let's just say the housing authority and beyond, I tell you, some of them charge lots of money. And it shouldn't be that way because housing should be free. People shouldn't have to pay to go live in housing. It's as simple as that. That's why we need universal housing, so that way people won't have to pay for housing. Now, for those of you people that are watching right now, hopefully you will understand that housing should be free.
I think housing, well, I believe in communal living. I think that's how we should have our housing. And we should have universal housing like they have in Norway and Sweden. They have policy that has eliminated the homelessness rate in those countries. So what we need is better housing policy from HUD, and that is what we need to see more of.
Do you know HUD is a funny name to call for abbreviation for housing? Because
It's not.
HUD would normally stand for, I would tell you, I don't know what it would stand for back then, but of course nowadays it's called the Housing Authority. That's what HUD stands for nowadays. But
HUD
back then
stands
it's
for Housing and Urban Development.
yeah, I forgot what it was called back then.
In Britain, it's the Ministry of Housing. So, but
Hey, y'all, talking about housing and how it should be so organized that we'll say 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4, 5 on up. Should be given to people on a first come first served basis, and help to keep the people that move in stay in, and instead of have some type of rotation of people in and out, people through the years. We talked to a couple people at different housing places, and they're telling us they've been there 30 years, 20 years. That is fantastic that they can make something last so long and just keep going. We just need to work together. You help them, they'll help you.
I want to tell
Arnold
you,
Schwarzenegger just came out and said, quote, to anti-maskers, screw your freedom.
and that is a good way to say it to anti-maskers, because what the anti-maskers are doing is killing not only the unvaccinated people.
He says here, quote, because with freedom comes obligations and responsibilities. Even I sort of agree with him on this. You have to have responsibilities, and that is just a requirement of living in a free democracy, a free society. And so I'm not sure if I would have put it like that, but I think it is right to say so. It's the way it should be.
So so let you know, the way it should be is with people that refuse to wear masks. I put you this way: people should not be allowed to go inside indoors until 90% of the population's fully vaccinated, unless it's absolutely needed. I'll put you this way. But as far as I'm concerned, unmasked people go inside an indoor place and don't wear a mask, they're putting the unvaccinated and vaccinated people at risk. That's why people should wear masks until 90% of the population's fully vaccinated for that reason. Another thing I want to tell you, viewers, if you're watching, we have a top chat on the Very White. Now, if you wanna post any comments
Yeah,
or
if you
chat
want to
about
comment,
something,
talk about the show,
you got top chat on the White.
talk about anything, you're welcome to have the talk chat, and we will react on occasion to some of the chat viewers. So it's great. Now we have huge news. Federal judge says Trump's accountants must turn over tax records to House panel. Here's why this is big. It's big because Trump's tax returns are now in public eye. Now everybody will being able to see it. Him for the evil capitalist that he is, and that's stealing from people with Trump University, whether it be lying to his fans and to his supporters. He actually lied when it came to the Trump cards, which we forgot to get into, but he's giving these so-called Trump cards to his supporters, and really they're a scam. And one of them looks like an old Nazi eagle symbol. If you look at one of the cards, it looks eerily like one of the symbols from Nazi Germany.
By the way, a Nazi Germany symbol that's anywhere across the world needs to be knocked down. And the reason why it needs to be knocked down because a Nazi symbol supports neo-Nazis and slavery. That's why the neo-Nazi symbol needs to be knocked down for that reason.
Concerning with the right speech, everybody has the right to speech. We should use it in a good way to promote opportunity, which is totally well-meaning in its ideas and ways it's accomplishing.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of news today.
Today's been kind of a slow day at the news, at least to the one that we kind of hook up on. There's a couple of different ones, and I guess things are on the verge of going somewhere with all this happening with the voting.
The tax returns that Congress apparently from the first 2 years in office. So it might not be.
We having some technical difficulties again.
Sorry, we're gonna have to end the stream.
Sorry about that, guys. We're gonna have to
We'll
end
be
this stream.
back.
We'll be back tomorrow,
We'll be back tomorrow,
4 p.m.
4 p.m.
See you, folks.
See you, folks.
Goodbye.